Hello, hello, my green skins. And do you know what time it is, boppers?
No,
You don't know what time it is, boppers? We aren't
no.
bopping the hip bop. We aren't setting those gangs up and setting those styles. It is the review of the Warriors,
Yep.
a cult classic. And I wish we were trying to get someone to do the voice for us and kind of do the little thing, the little sting that they had in between the videos, but unfortunately, it looks like we just couldn't get anybody who was interested. So it's like, ah, oh well. We
So,
need to get we need to get to 1,000 subscribers. We'll get people banging down the door if we get to 1,000. It's like, oh, you could get me a representation done. So, what did you think of the not comic book movie?
well, that's the ultimate director's cut that wanted to be a comic book movie, but that's a different subject. I thought it was. I thought it was entertaining enough.
Entertaining enough. I thought it was amazing as I go and I grab a thing for make some coffee. It is amazing. I thought it was really, really well done. And it's the thing about the movie is it's out of left field. Like it was an unknown movie originally. And
It's not hard to see
that's the
why. This movie, as far as I'm concerned at least, has no star power whatsoever.
but that's what makes it good. And there was star power. There's actually were quite a few actors and actresses that were part of this that did have some star power. But
Before or after this movie?
yeah, you are right there. Honestly, this movie was great for what it was. And it's still today, I still think it's a great movie. It's one of those movies that if you were to just sit down and put it on, you could play it. And it just people would enjoy it. It's just one of those sit down, play and enjoy movies.
It is.
What's the old saying?
I think it
Yeah.
is too. But
Yeah.
it's what I think it's a movie I'm gonna have to watch again because there are some elements of it which, and I don't mean this in a bad way. There's just some things that I'm like, what the hell, and you need to like watch it again to take it all in, or like, did I just see this?
No. No. The problem with that movie is that you really got to pay attention. If you are take your eyes off the screen, you'll miss something. You'll blink, you miss it.
In that case, take that as a lesson because we watched this movie at the same time. No talking
Yeah.
during movie, especially when one's watching it for the first time.
Well. How often do we shut the fuck up? And well, that's the fun of watching a movie with a buddy. But how often did we were sitting there, we would be like start like a little bit of a peace talk, like a little bit of us. Oh yeah, that actor, and then all of a sudden like the action started kicking up, and then you were just like we just went absolutely fucking quiet. That happens. That's a good thing. When you got a movie shutting you the fuck up, that's good. So let's break this down. What did you think of the music for the Warriors?
It was cool. It had its
Yeah,
own
it
theme.
is.
It stood out. It has an identity. So
Yep,
if I heard it elsewhere, I'm like, that's the Warriors.
that's the Warriors. Yeah, that blah 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 blah
And
blah
no,
blah blah
we're not talking
blah.
about the song "The Warriors" by Scandal. That's an awesome song, by the way, but no relation to this movie.
Great soundtrack all around. The songs are good. The songs are perfect. The film shots are perfect. It's really well done. It's now let's break it down with the acting. What did you think of the acting of the Warriors?
Um, cheesy in a good way. I mean, well, I guess it depends on the
Oh,
actors
come
because
on.
it's all over the place. You got one guy who takes his role seriously, and you got
Come
the other
on,
guys who are
Dark.
being what? I mean it in
Oh,
a good
come on,
way.
Dark. Can you dig it, Dark? Can you dig it?
Yes, I can. And I mean,
Damn
it
straight.
is cheesy in a good way. It works for this movie.
It really is. It really is. If you're gonna do a good movie and a good way, this is the movie you got to watch for some fun. Like this is something. It's not a like you wouldn't be able to show this 100% to a kid, but a teenager watching this would enjoy the fuck out of this. Especially, it's not exactly a timeless movie, but it is a time movie. Like it's one of those movies where you can literally just pop it up.
You
Now,
know,
here's the biggest. Go ahead.
that's a weird thing. You're talking about it's not time. It's not a time. It's a time piece, but it's like I watched this movie and I'm thinking it doesn't feel like it was shot in the late 70s or even the 80s because the picture is, at least in my copy, was very clear. The grain was minimal, if any. So it's like they
They
had.
well, they touched it up. We watched the most touched up version. I watched it on VHS for the very first time when I was a kid. I watched that. I watched this movie when I was like 7. So for me, watching it on VHS, it had a different quality.
But that's the thing. Even more popular movies with higher budgets and things like not even Commando was touched up this well, and that's even later, much later.
Well, this movie has a cult. This movie is as cult as it gets when it comes to stuff, and that's why it was beautifully remastered for the edition we saw. It is an amazing looking movie for what it was, and
We can't say the
that's the other
same.
thing.
We can't say the same for the sound quality though. It still sounds 80s.
It does still. No, the sound quality was touched up a lot, but it had good sound. The acting again was cheesy. The fighting scenes in it are
They were good
they were
overall.
good, but overall, there were some that were really bad. Some that were good. It kind of reminded me a little bit of a. It reminded me like the way they did the fights were very street fight like, which was really good. And you could have added a bunch more fights in there, and it would have been really fun. The other thing they did really good is even though this movie is shot in the dark for a majority of the movie, is shot in this absolute darkness, you see everything. Take word Hollywood. A movie from the 80s was able to do fucking lighting and darkness and screen, and actually it looks like you can see the fucking people. You can see their faces. And that's like when they're fighting the baseball Furies, for example. There's a scene where one guy goes running off, and the other, like two of them run off, and they let the other two get chased. And then the one guy and then they kind of run off to the side. Then they come behind the other guys and start picking off the other guys from behind. And you could see that in that dark scenario, chasing someone through Central Park.
I mean, there is
How
good
bad?
lighting, and but
Yeah,
it's not too bright. I mean, street lights illuminate more than well. Most movies love to make things dark and obs-
too dark.
yeah. So this one was easy to look at, but we never. But
Yeah,
speaking of, you're talking about these gangs just now, these weird gangs. We have to touch on the
yeah.
story, which is very basic.
Yeah, this story is a hero story. That's actually the best way to put it. It is a legit.
It's
It is
basically just
basically a story of
gangs.
courage.
It's just basically a gang is running away from other gangs and because they're after
No,
them.
no, no. Let's actually break it down a little bit. Let's give these boys a little bit of the golden touch here. All right, my greenskins. This is how she works. Basically, we have a guy named Cyrus. the Messiah, this guy who's trying to create this massive street gang. And this massive street gang is, in a nutshell, want to basically unify all the other street gangs and take over New York. That's the game plan. We're gonna remove the cops, and we're gonna run things. Fuck everybody else. Fuck everyone else. Now, one of these guys, one of the gang members, is this really sketchy little bastard who ends up dying in Commando. Let's just put it that way. Yeah, you told me you were gonna kill me last. I lied.
Oh,
That guy.
that yep, he's in the movie.
He's in the movie. He's actually, you could tell it's him is because he has that weaselly little voice.
Yeah,
And
he sounds like a teenager, even though he looks like he's 30.
yeah. Anyway, he decides that he's going to shoot this epic guy. So the group is called the Riffs because they're this like, weird. I don't know what to call the organization. The organization wears like ninja gis that are sparkly and all this, and all they wear shades. It's a really crazy story. Then, because he kills them, then he blames the Warriors. Now, the leader of the Warriors, gets basically murdered within the first fucking 5 seconds, which puts our main lead Swan becomes war chief, and he has to help his little buddies there, all the little gang guy, all his little all the other warriors get through the city, and
A little,
some make it, some don't, and yeah, it's
they have
pretty
to
much
avoid
that's the
fighting
story.
the other gangs who there's a hit out on them.
Yeah, there's
Well,
a
not a
hit on
hit,
them
but
now, and they gotta avoid the cops, the gangs,
even though
and get to Coney
they were
Island.
ordered, the gangs were ordered not to kill them, just to bring him in. But the other gangs, they just want blood.
Yeah, of course they want blood. This. A lot of them want blood, and they're going to go for blood regardless of what anyone thinks. So this story of these people just trying to survive,
With a
and
new, they have a new leader, inexperienced. They're in. They're really screwed.
yeah, they're
Oh
really
yeah, oh yeah.
screwed.
And there's a chick in there somewhere.
Yeah, there's a girl in there who I think that's the only way to put her. She basically shows up, and they literally talk about gang banging her and running a train, as they call it, and it's just like, whoa, like holy shit, and it's a weird movie, and it's good movie. It's really good. They unfortunately, like I said, it's kind of sad how it goes. We had it has its moments, and one of the biggest problems we can actually say about this movie is the controversial comic cuts. A lot of people either love the comic cuts or hate the comic cuts.
Yeah, the at points when it transitions, the scene dissolves into a comic book sketch, and then it would like pan through different panels with narration text like a comic book in the corners,
Yeah,
or maybe some
yeah,
speech bubbles, and then dissolve back into the live action. And
yeah.
as someone who's never seen this movie before till recently, and this is the first version I watch, it didn't feel right. It because I was wondering, is this based on a comic book? And then when Orc
Yeah,
Watcher tells me
it's
it's
not.
not, that's what makes it more
No,
jarring and out of place.
yeah, and that's the thing about it. It's the cuts are weird, and there were some interesting cuts in this movie. I also remember an ending to this movie I can't fucking find, where the Warriors are surrounded by the Rifts, and then then this huge fucking faction, like hundreds of Warriors, show up, and then are we good? Yeah, we're good. And they just turn around and walk away. That's not what we want. We want this. And then they leave. I vaguely remember that scene Now, I don't remember, like, I can't find that scene anywhere, so I don't know if it was like maybe I imagined it. I don't know, like maybe there's a VHS copy that has that scene on it. I don't remember, unfortunately.
Well,
And it's just one of those weird things.
in that case, we'll have to
I,
go on YouTube and find the alternate endings or alternate scenes or deleted scenes.
I looked through those scenes. It's not in there. I don't know where the fuck I saw that. I don't know if that was like a dream sequence. I don't know. I don't know if that was just a kid mind that like when I had saw it originally. Maybe I missed a scene. Anywho, it's one of those things. But overall, it's a fun action-packed movie. I once heard someone say the biggest problem with Hollywood is they forgot they're more worried about ideological than just fun. And this is one of those. This is why I think Bollywood movies are winning in the main in.
Well, I don't know. This is a movie that I think that it certainly will. It certainly will press a few buttons, and I just remember when you watch. If you watch it, uh, you have been warned. There are some things that might be considered wrong today.
Uh, yeah, I didn't hear a single thing you said. Hopefully that caught.
Actually, I was speaking to until you got back to fill that void.
No, no, no. It just died on both ends. I couldn't hear. I couldn't hear what it was. And you are right. It is a movie that would never be done today. But this is why Bollywood movies are winning because Bollywood movies are fun. That's why I hear people talking about the Beast. That's why I hear people talking about that weird one where they literally throw guys on catapults and they fire them off with shields and stuff. And it's like they're holding hands and being spun like a giant cannonball. It's one of the stupidest things I've ever seen, but it's fun. That's the problem. Hollywood has forgotten fun. And as long as it continues to forget fun, I think we're going to have a lot of times we're going to be looking at movies and going, oh, that's just awful. We're going to go back to these original movies.
It's
And
it's
I
like I
do
said.
suggest.
It's like I said in the last video.
Mhm.
That when we movies that are mediocre at best from the old days seem much better now because of the plethora of crap that's being made now.
Come out. Yeah. Well, yeah, exactly. So, what do you want to rate the Warriors?
Um, I will give it a 7.5.
I'm going to give it about a 7.9. This is a little bit of a cult classic for me, so I absolutely enjoy it. And maybe it's a guilty pleasure a little bit too. Let's just put it that way. I enjoy it all around. But yeah, thank you guys for listening. I hope you enjoyed a little podcast here. Remember, like I said, we do these as fun little things. You're just put them off on the side, and we just listen in. Uh, Thank you very much, everybody. Please like, subscribe, share the hell out of this. We want to get as far as we can with this. See if we can get to 1,000 subscribers, and hopefully we see you in the next one. Def Race 2000. Have yourselves a very good day.